Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Here I am your maths teacher from IYS school. Today we are going to start our online class for class 6 mathematics. There are some instructions, you must follow them. Don't raise hand during teaching. Ask question at the end of the teaching. Use hand free if you are using mobile phone and headphone for the computer use. Feed your ID and password properly with your name and class. Take care of time for attending the class. Home task should be done in a fair copy of the subject. If there is any disconnectivity during the teaching, try to join again within a 5 to 10 minutes. Here's chapter number 12, triangle and quadrilaters, from the page number 167 to 173. Here's the topic of the day are define triangle, classification of triangle according to the angles and according to the sides, define quadrilaterals, kinds of the quadrilaterals, properties of parallelogram, properties of rhombus, properties of rectangle, properties of square, and properties of trapezoid. Now here we start our lesson. Here are the 3 points, the point A, point B, and the point C. If we join this point with the line segment, just like that, the point A to B and point B to C, and again from point A to C, this becomes a triangle. It means that a plane having 3 non-collinear points, if we join 3 non-collinear points with the line segment, so this is called a triangle. Now these points are called the vertex of a triangle. These are the vertex of the triangle, and these ABC are the vertices of the triangle. Now students, here's the angle of the triangles. It means that they are called the angles of a triangle. Now the third thing is that these are the sides of the triangle. It means that the line segment from the A to C and C to B and A to B are the sides of the triangle. As you see students, this is called the elements of a triangle. A triangle having 6 elements, it means that they having 3 sides and 3 angles. Now we already discussed these things in detail. Here's the definition of the triangle. A figure bounded by 3 straight lines is called a triangle. As you see student, a figure bounded by 3 straight lines is called a triangle. If we have a point A, point B, and point C are the 3 non-collinear points, then the union of the segments AB, BC, and CA is called a triangle. It is denoted by triangle ABC. Now, the second thing is the vertices of a triangle. As we see previously, the common points of a line segment are called the vertices of the triangle. For example, A, B, C are the vertices of the triangle. In our previous figure, we see that the 3 non-collinear points and we join them with the line segments, so they are called the vertices of the triangle. The fourth thing is that the sides of the triangle. Sides of the triangle, as you see in the previous figure or in this figure, the segments AB, BC, and CA are the 3 sides of the triangle ABC. It means that the side AC, CB, and BA or AB are the sides of the triangle. Now the fifth thing is the angles of the triangle. Okay, the angles of the triangle are also right as the angle ABC. It's mean that from the point B to the point A and to the point C. This is called the angle BAC. The second angle is angle ABC. And the third angle is angle AC and B. Are the 3 angles of a triangle ABC. These angles may also be written as angle A, angle B, and angle C respectively. Okay students, the 6th point is the sum of the angles of a triangle. Okay, a triangle having 3 angles, we already know that, so the sum of the measures of 3 angles of a triangle is always equals to 180 degree. That is angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equals to 180 degree. It means that if in a triangle we having the angle A, angle B, and angle C, and if we add them together, so we get their sum is equals to 180 degree. Okay, now students, we move towards the classification of a triangle. Now the classification of a triangle is further divided into 2. The first one is according to the angles, and the second was according to the sides. Now this one is according to the angles. We have, first one is the acute angle, second one is right angle, and the third one is obtuse angle. Now according to these sides, we have The first one is isosceles triangle, the second one is scalene triangle, and the third one is equilateral triangle. Now students, here we are discussing these triangles in some details. Some properties of these triangles, as you see students, in obtuse triangle, the one angle is equals to is obtuse angle. Why this is called obtuse angle? Because this angle is greater than 90 degree. Okay, we already know that the three angles is equals to the sum of the three angles is equals to 180 degree. If we have the one angle which is obtuse angle, so the other two angles are already equals to acute angle. It's mean that they are less than 90 degree. Okay students, they are acute angle and one angle is obtuse angle, so this type of triangle is called a obtuse angle triangle. Now, but this one is the right angle triangle. Okay, the another property is to recognize this type of triangle. It's mean that a triangle having a 90-degree angle on having a 90-degree angle is called a right angle triangle. Okay students, if we have one angle is equals to 90 degrees, so it is absolutely say that the other two angles is equals to less than 90 degree. It's mean that they are acute angle. They are acute angle because the sum of the all three angles are equals to 180 degrees. So if we have one angle is equals to 90 degree, so it is say that the other two angles are also equals to acute angle. Now the third case is that if all the three angles are acute angles, it means that all the three angles of a triangle is less than 90 degrees. So we say that that triangle is called acute angle triangle. Why they are called? Because all the three angles are acute. So this type of triangle is called acute angle triangle. Now students, we move towards the classification of triangle according to these sides. First one is isosceles triangle, the second one is scalene, and the third one is the equilateral triangle. Here we discuss, firstly we discuss the scalene triangle. Now students, in a scalene triangle, all the three sides are not congruent. It means that they are not equal in measurement. They are not congruent. They are not equal in measurement. All the three sides, all the three sides measurement is not same. This means that such kind of triangle is called scalene triangle. Okay students, the second triangle is called isosceles triangle. Okay, in isosceles triangle, any two sides of a triangle are congruent. This means that any two sides of a triangle are equal in measurement, so they are called isosceles triangle. Okay, isosceles triangle having another property which says that these angles which are opposite to that congruent sides are also congruent. This means that if we construct an angle opposite to this side, as you see students, these two sides are congruent, so the angle which are construct opposite to these sides are also congruent. Okay, now the third one is the equilateral triangle. As you see students, all the sides are equal in measure or all the sides are congruent, so we say that such type of triangle is called the equilateral triangle. Okay, we move towards from isosceles triangle. In isosceles triangle, we say that the angles which are opposite to the congruent side are also congruent. Okay, in isosceles triangle, we have only two sides which are congruent, so we say that the two angles which are opposite to that sides are also congruent. But in equilateral triangle, we have all the three sides are congruent, so we also say that the angles which are opposite to that sides are also congruent. It's mean that if we have in an equilateral triangle all the three sides are congruent, it's mean that this triangle having all the three angles are also congruent. And from the beginning, we know that all the three angles of a triangle is equals to 180 degree. So here we say that all the three angles of equilateral triangles are same. How they are same, we are considering in the next slide. Now, Here we discuss the classification of the triangles in detail. Now, firstly, we discuss the classification of the triangle according to angles. Here's the definition of acute angle triangle. A triangle whose all angles are acute angle is called an acute angle triangle. Now, the second one is obtuse angle triangle. A triangle whose one angle is obtuse angle is called an obtuse angle triangle. Now from the figure, as we know that the one angle which is greater than 90 degrees, so we say that that angle is called obtuse angle. So such kind of triangle is called obtuse angle triangle. Now the third case is right angle triangle. As we already see that a triangle whose one angle is right angle is called a right angle triangle. Now students, we move towards the classification of the triangle according to sides. Here we have scalene triangle. Now a triangle having no side congruent is called a scalene triangle. As you see students in the figure, we say that no side of a triangle is congruent. It means that the side of the triangle not equal in the measurement, so such kind of triangle is called the scalene triangle. The second one is isosceles triangle. A triangle having two sides are congruent is called a isosceles triangle. Okay, from the figure you already know that the two sides of a triangle are congruent, so we say that such kind of triangle is called a isosceles triangle. Now the equilateral triangle, what is the equilateral triangle? From the figure we know that a triangle having all the three sides are congruent is called an equilateral triangle. Okay students, these are the classification of a triangle according to the sides. The first one is a scalene triangle in which no sides are congruent. The second one is the isosceles triangle in which two sides are congruent. And the third one is the equilateral triangle in which all the three sides of a triangle are congruent. Now we're discussing some important note. Okay, in isosceles triangle, the angles opposite to the congruent side are also congruent. From the diagram, I already discussed about that thing. In isosceles triangle, the angles opposite to the congruent sides are also congruent. The second note is in right angle triangle, the side opposite to the right angle is called the hypotenuse. Now students, in a right angle triangle where the right angle is constructed and the side opposite to that angle is called the hypotenuse, and the other two sides where the 90 degrees line is called the base and the other side is called the altitude, or we call the altitude of the triangle. Now, the third point is an equilateral triangle is also called equiangular triangle. Why they are called equiangular? Equiangular means all the angles are same, all the angles are congruent. Since the sum of three angles are 180 degree, therefore each angle is equals to 60 degree. Students, we already discussed about the equilateral triangle. In equilateral triangle, all the sides are congruent, so obviously their opposite angles are also congruent. So we see that an equilateral triangle is also called equiangular triangle because the sum of these angles are equals to 180 degree. Therefore each angle of an equiangular or equal triangle is equals to 60 degree. Now student, here we start quadrilaterals. A figure bounded by four straight lines is called a quadrilateral. Okay. If we have a point A, B, C and the other 4 points such that no three of them are collinear, then the union of the segment A, B, B, C, C, D and D, A is called a quadrilateral. It is denoted by A, B, C, D or quad A, B, C, D. Now here's the figure. Here we have the 4 points, the point A, point B, point C and point D. We join these points with a line segment from point A to the point B, from point B to the point C, from point C to the point D, and point D to point A. Okay, it becomes a figure which is called a quadrilateral. Now these are the vertex. These are the vertex. It means that A, B, C and D are the vertices of the quadrilateral. Okay students, these are the sides of the quadrilateral. Why they are called the sides of the quadrilateral? Because here we construct the line segment which is the AB line. So this is the side of the quadrilateral, and from the point B to the point C there is another side which is called the side BC, and the another point which is the C to D there is a line segment which is called the side of the quadrilateral, and from point A to point D there is another point, there is another line segment which is called the side of the quadrilateral. Now here we having the angles which are the angles of the quadrilaterals. Now we discussing these points in more detail. Now here we are discussing the vertices of the quadrilaterals. From the definition, the common points of the line segment are called vertices. For example, A, B, C and D are the vertices of the quadrilateral A, B, C and D. As you see, students, A, B, C and D are the vertices of the quadrilaterals. These are the common points of the line segment, so they are the vertices of the quadrilateral. Second one is the sides. The segments line AB, line BC, line CD and line DA are the sides of the quadrilateral. As you see, students, from the point A to the point B is a line segment, and from the point B to the point C is another line segment, and from the point C to the point D another line segment, and from the point D to the point A is another line segment. So these line segments are called the sides of the quadrilateral A, B, C and D. Now we discuss the side into further two things opposite sides. What are the opposite sides? Two sides of a quadrilateral are called opposite if they do not have a common end point. For example, in a quadrilateral ABCD, the side AB is opposite to the side CD. As you see, student, the side AB is opposite to the side CD. CD side and AB side are the opposite to each other, and the side AD is opposite to the side BC. Or we say that the side BC is opposite to the side DA or DAD. Okay, these are the opposite sides of the quadrilateral. It's mean that they do not have the common endpoint. Now the second thing is adjacent side or the consecutive side. What are the adjacent side or the consecutive side of a quadrilateral? Here we have two sides of a quadrilateral are called adjacent if they have a common endpoint. For example, in a triangle, in a quadrilateral ABCD, the side AB and the side BC are the adjacent side. Why they are the adjacent side? Just like the side AB and the BC side the adjacent, because they having the common end point which is the point B. Similarly, we say that the line BC and the line CD are the adjacent side. As you see, student, line BC and the line CD having the C which is the common point between them, so we say that they are the adjacent sides. And also the line CD and DA. Okay, here we have the line C to D and D to A, having the D which is the common point between the line CD and the line DA, so it is also the adjacent side or the consecutive side of a quadrilateral. Now the third one is the line DA and the line AB are the pairs of the adjacent side. So from the point D to the point A, and again from the point A to the point B, the common point which is called the point A. So these two lines are also the adjacent sides or the consecutive sides of the quadrilateral. Okay, they say that similarly line BC and line CD and line CD and line DA and also line DA and line AB are the pairs of adjacent sides of the quadrilateral. Now students, here we are discussing the further parts of the quadrilateral, which are the angles. Angle A, B, C, D are the four angles of quadrilateral A, B, C, D. Here I draw a quadrilateral. As you see, students, there are the four angles which are drawn inside the quadrilateral. So these are the angles of the quadrilateral. Now the angles further discuss into two things. First one is the opposite angles. Two angles of a quadrilateral are called opposite if they do not have a common arm. Okay, two angles of a quadrilateral are called opposite if they do not have a common arm. For example, in a quadrilateral ABCD, the angle A and angle C, The angle B and angle D are the pairs of opposite angle and hence the opposite vertices. How they are the opposite angle or the opposite vertices? As you see student, the angle A and angle C are opposed to each other. So they are the opposite angle. And also the angle B and angle D are also opposed to each other. So they are the opposite angles. And hence opposite vertices mean that B and D are the vertices. So they oppose them. So they are the opposite vertices. Now student, the second thing is the adjacent angle or the consecutive angle. As previously we say about the adjacent side or the consecutive side, so here we're discussing the adjacent angle and the consecutive angles. Two angles of a quadrilateral are adjacent if they have a common arm. Okay, for example, the angle A, angle B, or we say that angle B and angle C, or we say that angle C and angle D, or we have angle D and angle A are the pairs of adjacent angles of the quadrilateral A, B, C and D. Hence the adjacent vertices. Now, where's the adjacent angles or the consecutive angle? Here we have the angle A and angle B are the adjacent angles. And also we say that angle B and angle C are the adjacent angles or the consecutive angles. And also we say that angle C and angle D are the adjacent angle, or we say that the consecutive angle. And also we have the angle D and angle A. It means that this angle D and angle A are the adjacent angle or the consecutive angles of the quadrilateral. They having the adjacent vertex. As you see student, the angle A and angle B are the vertices of the quadrilateral and they are adjacent to each other. Similarly, we say that all the vertices which are adjacent means the angle B and angle C are the adjacent vertices, angle C and angle D or the vertex C and vertex D are the adjacent vertices, and point D to point A are the adjacent vertices. Now we move toward the another part of the quadrilateral, which is the diagonals. Now what are the diagonals? The line segment joining opposite vertices of a quadrilateral is called its diagonal. As you see students, the line segment joining the opposite vertices. What are the opposite vertices? The vertex A and vertex C are the opposite vertices and they are joining by the line segment. So this line segment and also the vertex B and vertex C are joining with the line segment. So this line segment is also called the diagonal of the quadrilateral. For example, the line segment AC and the line segment BD are the diagonals of the quadrilateral ABCD. If we have a quadrilateral ABCD, so we join their opposite vertices by a line segment, just like from point A to point C and again from point B to point D. So they are called the diagonals of the quadrilateral. Now students, we move towards the types of the quadrilateral. The first one is the parallelogram. Both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. It is denoted by this symbol. We write as parallelogram like these two parallel lines and we having the exponent which is called M. Now rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram whose adjacent sides are congruent but none of the angle is right angle. Third one is a rectangle. A rectangle is a parallelogram whose all angles are right angle. Fourth one is a square. A square is a rectangle whose adjacent sides are congruent. Okay. The next one is trapezoid. It has only one pair of parallel sides whose sides are called the base of the trapezoid. Isosceles trapezoid. It is a trapezoid which has two non-parallel sides equal. As you see students, in our parallelogram, we have both pairs of opposite sides. What are the opposite sides? These one the opposite sides. These are the parallel sides and they are congruent. Okay, these are also the parallel side and they are also congruent. In a rhombus, all the four sides are congruent. As you see from this figure, as you see students, all the four sides are congruent. So we say that it is a kind of a parallelogram Rhombus is a parallelogram whose adjacent sides are congruent, but none of the angle is a right angle. But in a rhombus, none of the angle is making the right angle. So here we say that such kind of parallelogram is called a rhombus, in which all the sides are congruent. Okay, in a rectangle is a parallelogram whose all angles are right angle. To recognize a rectangle in which all the angles are 90 degree, but this is such kind of parallelogram. The next thing, which is a square is a rectangle whose adjacent sides are congruent. It means that in a square all the sides are congruent. Okay, a trapezoid, it has only one pair of parallel side. You see that, students, this side and this side are the parallel sides. Okay, those sides are called the base of the trapezoid. This one, this line segment and this line segment is called the base of the trapezoid. What is a series trapezoid? It is a trapezoid which has two parallel sides equal. Two parallel side equal mean that the first one and the second side is the non-parallel sides are equal, means that these are the non-parallel side and they are equal in measure, they are congruent. Now here we discussing some properties of parallelogram first. Okay, this one is a parallelogram. As you see, students, we having the four vertices, four angles and the four sides. So this is called a parallelogram. In a parallelogram, both pair of opposite sides are parallel. As you see, students, both pair of opposite sides are parallel, means the side AB and the side CD are the parallel side, and the side AD and the side BC are the parallel side. The next property is both pair of opposite sides are congruent. Both pairs of opposite sides are congruent means side AD and the side BC are congruent, and the side AB and the side CD are congruent. The third property is both pair of opposite angles are congruent. Both pair of opposite angles we are already discussed from the definition of quadrilateral. Okay, in a quadrilateral we already discussed about the opposite angles, means that opposite angles which are opposed to each other is mean that the angle A and angle C are the opposite. So in a parallelogram, both pair of opposite angle means the pair of angle A and angle C and angle B and angle D are congruent. They are congruent. Angle A and angle C are congruent, and angle B and angle D are congruent. The next property is consecutive angles are supplementary. Consecutive angles or the adjacent angles are supplementary. It's mean that the angle A and angle B are supplementary, or we say that angle B and angle C are supplementary, or we say that angle C and angles D are also supplementary, and angle D and angle A are also supplementary. Supplementary means if we sum these two angles, we having the 180 degree. It's mean that the sum of these two angles is equals to 180 degrees, so we call them supplementary. The next property is diagonal bisect each other. As you see, students, the diagonal which are constructed from the point A to the point C and from the point B to the point D, these diagonals bisect each other. These diagonals are bisect each other. They are bisect at that point. Now students, we move the properties of a rhombus. This is a rhombus, and here we discuss the properties. Okay, a rhombus is a kind of a parallelogram, so it have some properties same as a parallelogram. Okay, here I write all the properties having the rhombus. Both pair of opposite sides are also parallel. Okay, in a parallelogram and in a rhombus, these property is same. Both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. As you see, students, the side AB and the side CD are parallel side, so they are opposite sides, so they are parallel to each other. And the side AD and the side BC, they are the parallel side and they are the opposite side also. So this property is same as the parallelogram. Second property, both pair of opposite sides are congruent. Okay, this property is also having the here we have both pair of opposite sides are congruent. It's mean that the opposite sides, which are the side AB and side CD, are congruent, and the side BC and the side AD are also congruent. Now the third property is consecutive angles are supplementary. As you see, student, this property is also having the property of parallelogram. It means that the consecutive angles means the adjacent angles, the angle A and angle B are supplementary. It means that the sum of angle A and angle B is equals to 180 degree. all the consecutive angle means the angle B and angle C. Angle A and angle B are supplementary angle. Angle B and angle C are consecutive, or we say that they are supplementary. Angle C and angle D are also supplementary, and angle D and angle A are also supplementary angles. Okay. The fourth property is diagonals bisect each other. It's mean that, as you see students, the diagonal which are A to C is the diagonal and B to D is the diagonal. So they bisect each other. The fifth property is diagonals are perpendicular. As you see students, those diagonals bisect each other and they also construct a 90-degree angle. So they are called perpendicular. This one is diagonals bisect its angle. Okay, the angle A is bisect by this diagonal and angle B is also bisect by this diagonal, and angle C is also bisect by this diagonal, and angle D is also bisect by these angle. Now the last property is all the four sides are congruent. In rhombus, we already know that all the four sides are congruent. These are the properties of the rectangle. Okay, this is when the rectangle is, here we have the point A, B, C and D. Okay, the first property have both pair of opposite sides are parallel. Okay, as you see student, the side AB and the side CD are the opposite side and they are parallel. Also the side AD and the side BC are the parallel sides, so they are parallel. Both pair of opposite sides are congruent. As you see students, both pair of opposite sides are congruent, mean that they are equal in length. Line AB and line CD are congruent. Both pair of opposite angles are congruent. It means that opposite angle means angle A and angle C are congruent and angle B and angle D are congruent. Consecutive angles are supplementary. Okay, angle B and angle A, angle B and angle C are the supplementary angle, or we say that angle C and angle D are also supplementary and angle D and angle A are also supplementary. Diagonals bisect each other. As you see students, these diagonals bisect each other. All the angles are congruent. We know that in a rectangle all the angles are equals to the 90 degrees, so we say that all the angles are congruent. Diagonals are also congruent. Okay, in this diagram, in this rectangle, we say that diagonals are also congruent. All the angles are right angle. Okay, in a rectangle we know that all the angles are right angle. Okay, the properties of the square is both pairs of opposite sides are parallel, both pairs of opposite sides are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary, diagonals bisect each other, all the angles are congruent, diagonals are congruent, all the angles are right angle. All the four sides are congruent. Okay students, here we know that the square is a kind of a rectangle, so it having all the property which having a rectangle. So all the properties are same as the rectangle, but the one property which is different is that all the four sides are congruent in a square. Okay, diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, in a square, the diagonals which are bisect each other, they are perpendicular to each other. Properties of an isosceles trapezoid. Okay, there are only two properties, which is the base angles are congruent. This one is the base. The line A to B and the line C to D are the base of the trapezoid. So we say that the angles which are construct on them are also congruent. The second property is opposite angles are supplementary. It's mean that the angle A to angle B are equals to 180 degree. Now here we start our exercise, which is find each element marked by the letter in the diagram. Give the reason for your answer. Here's the first diagram. We have a parallelogram. So we name this shape is a parallelogram. Okay, here we have the consecutive angles are supplementary. From the properties of a parallelogram, we say that consecutive angles are supplementary. So we have, here we have the angle A, which is equals to 65 degree, and the consecutive angle, which is the angle A. Here we take the sum of them. 65 plus A is equals to 180 degree. So we find the value of this letter, which is A, is equals to 180 degree minus 65. So we get the value of A, which is equals to 115 degrees. The second point is opposite angles are equal. In a parallelogram, the opposite angles are equal, so we say that the angle B and 65 degree are opposite, so the angle B is equal to 65 degree. The angle A and angle C are opposite angles, so here we have the angle C is equal to 115 degrees. The third one is the opposite side are also equal, so here we say that the X is opposite to the side 3.7 centimeters, so we say that X is equal to 3.7 centimeter, and the side Y, which is opposite to the 5 centimeters, so here we say that the Y is equal to 5 centimeters. Now in the next diagram, This diagram is a rhombus, and here we have the first property, which is the consecutive angles are also supplementary. Now here, student, you see that's 130 degree, the opposite, the consecutive angle of 130 degree is P. So here we write the 130 degree plus P is equals to 180 degree. Here we write 180 degree minus 130 degree is equals to 50 degree. So the consecutive angles are supplementary. So we find the value of this P, which is equals to 50 degree. The next point is opposite angles are equal. It means that the angle opposite to the angle uh, to the 130 degree is Q. So here we say that the Q is equals to 130 degree, and the angle P and the angle R is opposite to the angle P. So here we say that the angle R is equals to 50 degree. Third point is, in a rhombus all the sides are equal. So we say that if one side is equals to 5 centimeters, so we say that the side X is equals to 5 centimeter, the Y side is equals to 5 centimeter, and Z side is equals to 5 centimeters. Okay, students, it is a rectangle. All the angles are right angles. So L is equals to 90 degree, M is equals to 90 degree, and N is equals to 90 degree. In a rectangle, we know that all the angles are 90 degree. So students, second one is the side opposite. Opposite sides are equal. In a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. It means that the side opposite to the side A is equals to 6 centimeters. Side B is opposite to side 4 centimeters. Okay, the next one is, the next shape is square. All the angles are right angles. So the angle X is equals to 90 degree, angle Y is equals to 90 degree, and angle Z is equals to 90 degree. Second point is all the sides are equal. So here we have one side which is equals to 4.5 centimeter. So the side P is equals to 4.5 centimeter. The side Q is equals to 4.5 centimeters. The side R, which is equals to 4.5 centimeters. Now the next diagram, okay, it is little bit similar, just like rhombus. So here we using the properties of rhombus, but firstly we discuss the angles, which are the angle A and 70 degree. Angle A, the angle of 70 degree are corresponding angles. So the angle A is equals to 70 degree. Here students, the corresponding angle are also discussed in the chapter number 11. We already discussed in our previous lessons. So from that lesson, we already discussed that what are the corresponding angle, and from the definition or the properties of corresponding angle, we say that the angle A is equals to 70 degree. Okay, the first property of the rhombus is the consecutive angles are supplementary. So here we write the angle A plus angle B is equals to 180 degree. And from here we know that the angle A is equals to 70 degrees. So here we write 70 plus B is equals to 180 degree, and here we find the value of B, which is equals to 180 minus 70. B is equals to 110 degrees. Now students, there is isosceles trapezoid. It having only two properties. The base angle of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent, so we say that Y is equals to 70 degree. These are the base angles. 70 and Y are the base angles, so here we write Y is equals to 70 degree. The opposite angle of an isosceles trapezoid are supplementary, so we say that Z plus Y is equals to 180 degree. Here we find Z plus 70 degree is equals to 180 degree. Z is equals to 180 minus 70, that is equals to 110 degrees. Similarly, we say that as x is equals to 110 degree. Why we say that? Because x is opposite, x is a base angle, and these are the congruent angles. So here we say that x and y, x and z are the congruent angles, so they are similar angles. Okay students, here your home task from exercise number 12.1, which is on page number 168 to 169. You do the fill in the blanks from 1 to 10 from exercise 12.2, page number 172. From question number 1 to 1 false. Question number 2, fill in the blanks. Question number 3, do all the class work in your fair copies. Now students, thank you for watching me, and hopefully that uh, you will understand all the lesson carefully. And this is your home task. So please do all the home tasks in your fair copy of this subject. Okay. From the exercise number 12.1, from the page number 168 to 169, you do the fill in the blanks from 1 to 10 in your fair copy. From the exercise number 12.2, this is on the page number 172, you have to do the question number 1, which is the true false, question number 2, which is the fill in the blanks, and question number 3 is the class work. Okay, these all work you do in your fair copies of the subject. Thank you for watching this lesson. Take care of you, and Allah Hafiz.